To everyone and nobody. Our path meant to cross at some stage thanks to the adoption by a French family. We are sisters from Earth but from different biological families, and we come from Vietnam. This country is dear to our heart and left so many memories, both good and bad. Here is my true story, and it all started when I first opened my new eyes for the first time in this new world. I was born and suddenly I was abandoned from birth in a dangerous area. Under that bridge, only 1/4 built, I was surrounded by a polluted and dirty river where stray dogs roamed free. If this letter reaches you, it means I did exist and I have been living many experiences, good and bad. I have experienced happiness and sadness all my life. Happiness is a good feeling when everything looks amazing, wonderful, and makes you smile, laugh, and also embrace your worth on this earth. In contrary, sadness is a bad feeling when everything feels horrible, awful, and dark and makes you feel very sad and down, depressed, and then you push through this difficult time where happiness is only temporary. Something or someone makes you cry so much tears that you can't control your emotions, but the only option you have left over is to let those pains come out until you're feeling tired and at ease. You will do that in order to get your peace back and rebuild yourself fully and properly again. And then also try to wipe your deep negative feelings, as your heart might need to heal little by little. Once you're ready again, take a small step to put every tiny piece of the jigsaw that is your heart until it is back to being happy again. On the other hand, mine was upside down everywhere, and it's been a very long time. I feared and still worried that I cannot rebuild it because pieces are still missing and will miss forever. After reading this first part, I imagine your mind is often getting confused about the best way to recognize their happiness and sadness. I can already hear your existential question coming through my ears. How did we keep standing up and keep holding faith and hope? Where can this hope come from? And this big desire for life despite all terrible treatment? Everyone will have their own answer to this depending on their visions and feelings. Most people will tell you that material items, having a good career, being rich, and having a wealthy life make them feel happy. In contrary, being jobless, homeless, and poor make them feel deeply sad. From my perspective and personal experience of life, I can tell you that those points above, effectively real, are not barely enough to guarantee different types of survival. But for us to keep believing in better things, we had the desire and the precious life profoundly that is waiting for us to fulfill it in the best way. From my past, I have never known love and affections from my biological parents. My childhood was lived in an orphanage for 8 long years. It was an awful experience, and I suffered at this time. It was like hell on earth. I've experienced several horrible treatments, such as physical violence, beaten with a hard bamboo stick at any time, verbal abuse, constant criticism, gaslighting, belittling, and unavailable emotion, lack of love, affection, compliments, but I did know rejection, more abandonment, loneliness, nastiness without boundaries. I still was a newborn, and at that time, staff left me in a dish bucket in the kitchen sink. Then this same person let the water running down for a long while and left the room. I was alone for several minutes, and nobody noticed. I could have drowned as much as the water level had risen until the sink was very full. Some staff took pleasure in abusing me and also showed all that sadism from my young age. I had to carry this survival instinct on my shoulders without giving up. Indeed, I had to step back and went hiding myself internally most of the time. My inner child was terribly confused, fearful, and always questioning myself if that life is worthy to fight for living throughout every trauma I was carrying. Nobody taught me how to love another one, but this tough time showed me the best way to love genuinely and truly. I had to learn all by myself the hard way and had to be brave to find out what the real connection is between love and happiness. If you want to make someone happy, you simply need to express and show love in several ways. What are there? Love is an unlimited gesture and needs to inspire someone to give nice compliments, supporting and encouraging someone no matter what, hugging, short or long, in order to calm a distressed heart down. Apologize sincerely if you caused pain, sadness, or if you insult someone, then ask for forgiveness from the person who hurt you deeply. Providing your shoulder to another who needs to find peace, being a good listener and have a caring nature in order to show that person that you're ready to give your full attention and be ready to listen carefully, fully, and without judgment or inflicting your own thoughts or ideas onto the other person, understanding someone's feeling, accepting and considering one another fully for who he or she is. Never forget to express gratitude and appreciation when someone has helped you or even made an effort or attempts to help. Always show affection whenever you can. These points I described above, I never received them while in the orphanage for 8 years, but it's still enough of a difficult experience to process these love gestures. Despite this, I was luckily adopted. The lack of love, affection, support for about 8 years don't mean the access to those love gestures will come fast into my life. I can't get back 100% of what I missed out on terribly. It might take a full life to receive every great gesture mentioned previously. I will also need a lot of patience, wisdom, and precious time to grieve all the losses that remain like it forever, and then I have to accept the reality of the bad events. Those gestures of love can help anyone to rebuild their heart by sticking every little piece back together in order to reshape it and make your heart whole again. Another important point you have to know about love and kindness is always stick together and also be best friends. So, you both work together to bring a positive harmony, vibe, and energy. The term happiness also has to face his dreadful enemy, sadness. My past has given me a real lesson and awareness about the origin of sadness. It can be caused by people's bad actions that affect a person's heart and left it broken in a billion pieces. Sometimes people hurt you unconsciously because they are not aware of the terrible and destructive consequences from their action that can bring big impact into someone's heart, whereas others will hurt you on purpose to harm you and your happiness. This vital organ is like a plant that contains roots which feed your body of oxygen. If a person were to plant an evil seed of wickedness in your life, your roots will become such as thorny brambles that will feed your flesh with darkness such as revenge, hatred feelings, anger, disgust, frustration, jealousy, and impulsiveness. Your heartbeat is vital to build both you and your heart into a unique and strong person. But if someone hurts you with their bad attitude and behavior, it can create an internal division and be devastating for your mental health. It means you are no longer a brave and affects your confidence with you and with your heart. You both lose your identities, and that precious string you had between you is broken temporarily. This pain looks like a wound caused by a bullet shot from a gun that crossed every skin layer and creating a hole into your inner self that shows a massive destruction of your purest soul. Your own body lives and feels the unspeakable emptiness and loneliness as deep as a well. You are alone without your heart on your side. Sadness can cause dreadful damage and push you into a hellish fight against your own heart. Your mate, who was your friend, has become your worst enemy. What are the bad actions that make you feel deeply sad? I can already tell you. They are limited, but can be fixed for a certain time and period. Some are short, others longer, and also depending on the seriousness of the bad actions. After a difficult and traumatic event, you should ask yourself this most important question. Do you really have the great ability to repair or to fix what is deeply broken before rebuilding yourself properly and fully again? Everyone will have their way to handle the trauma and go through dark and painful time as best as they can. But acknowledge carefully that your subconsciousness will fake your feeling with reality and set you up to overcome trauma very fast. In psychology, we call it resilience effect. Means you're making a bridge to get over the trauma instead of going through a tunnel and confront yourself with the bad issues to work on it properly and deeply in order to recover from every wound and finally get to inner peace. Criticism and judgments that affect physical appearance and emotions, the harassment against an individual depending on gender, age, and origin, but also influenced by a group of people, rejection or abandonment, physical and verbal violence, also called as behavioral abuse caused by a man or woman, friendship, love, relationship and family betrayal and being cheating on, gossips from any forms and quantity, wrong ego, trying to change your mindset, and also being toxic and being negative about the other person, their pride gets in the way, racism against an individual or different ethnics of people, lies, no matter its size and quantity, in order to save and protect your own interests in any forms existed, crimes and murderers in order to take one or many lives, neglecting anyone by taking he, she for granted, or not appreciating another person, spouting hate and degrading someone's feeling against another person. All the points mentioned previously can bring visible or invisible scars, but also deteriorating your own thoughts to the point of doubting your own values, abilities, and then leading yourself to your own destruction, suicide caused by insecurity, and the harsh actions from one or several individuals. Be conscious certain deaths can be avoided if you don't want to carry them into your subconscious for the rest of your life. Once your mental health is on the dark side, it is way more difficult to climb the high mountain in order to find this dazzling light which brings warmth, comfort, inner serenity, self-confidence, and self-love. Now, the choice is yours. Do it wisely, but you also need to know that there's a good and bad side in every human, all depending on the scale and the weight of your heart, because this life provides consistent, contradictions. That's why they're making this world so unique, imperfect, but also with tiny perfection within it. Your life is a lottery game which you have to gamble between good and bad choices. In every step of your existence, you will face every challenge that gives you opportunity to win or lose everything. Every bad actions will bring you many losses because what is lost remains like it forever. In case you would like to spread and share happiness by using love above sadness caused by the bad actions, you will save probably more lives in this world. Every life should be treated with human kindness. Be also aware that it will be very difficult to stick the past and present together once the time flew away, because this missing time will remain like it is and look like an amputation, which makes your existence disabled. Since I was adopted and my young sister as well, we know really well the issue above with the loss of our mother tongue, birthplace, and its culture, of course. Those are caused from all bad experiences witnessed from our birth until the life condition in the orphanage. Human kindness truly means we may open our arms to welcome others as we all need help from each other. We should unify as a nation no matter how difficult our challenges are instead of dividing ourselves from others. Humans can't live without genuine love and care, but this feeling is so difficult to give to anyone. However, love itself cannot be without human kindness, because that emotion of self-worth is way more valuable than gold, diamonds, or money on this earth, and love always reigns above hatred and its vain. If you want to make the world look a bit better every day, you already know the best action to take and use it wisely. However, you will notice that many of them take love or whatever they have for granted, while others who have missed out on these gestures so much learn to appreciate each thing for its true value with wisdom and patience. Also, know that everyone's life is presented like a wheel that constantly turns, bringing a real-life lesson to each ordeal. Those who have everything in life will be faced with a lack of during a period of their life, while those who have nothing will experience abundance and will know how to tame it correctly. When lack or loss will come into their lives, they will remember what they had and regret taking them for granted, and then they will recognize their true values. In all good things, you will have the opportunity to meet three types of people. There is the group of givers who know how to give a lot of good things of themselves, also called the generous, but they do not necessarily receive anything in return. The following are the receivers who let abundance reach them, but they never give anything because selfishness lives in them, and they do not necessarily realize this character trait, which can hurt the esteem of others. And then the last one, who share half of the first two groups, both giver and receiver. These are the fairest and most aware of the environment around them, because you can be sure to obtain peace with them, and they will all do this naturally as a matter of course. Even if I don't know you or you look at me as a stranger, be aware I will get to know you without judgment, but I will also take time to see what you carry in your heart and in your soul following each challenge that you have faced and overcame. And there I leave for Vietnam to continue my personal quest, which I will do alone while receiving the unconditional support of the members of my adoptive family. The pursuit of this personal quest is a key step in my adult life in order to find the missing pieces to perhaps complete this existential jigsaw, and holding firmly this hope so that this painful feeling of abandonment and rejection takes up space in my heart, my soul, and my future life.